Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing, testing.
CieloDrive.com Audio Archives.
Mr. Weber, we now have a tape recorder running, and we're on tape, and we're here with Jim Raid, our reporter. My name's Sergeant Calkins. To identify myself, your name is Rudy Weber, is that correct?
Yes.
And could you tell me, Mr. Weber, your home address and your business address?
Well, I live at 987 Portola Drive, Beverly Hills. That's post office, Beverly Hills. And I work as steward at the Brentwood Country Club, 590 South Burlingame, West LA, 49.
All right, now your house, I believe you say you have a mailing address in Beverly Hills. It's actually in the city of Los Angeles.
Actually, West LA.
West LA, right, okay. Now, your residence on Portola Drive, I believe that street's a dead-end street, is that correct?
It's just a dead-end street.
Your house is on the south side of the street, about 200 or 300 yards from Benedict Canyon?
Well, I would say
approximately
about 300 feet.
Your house is somewhat of a hillside house, where the lot runs up behind the house very steeply to the south.
It is.
Now, in the early morning hours of August the 9th, 1969, an incident occurred at your house that we're interested in. Would you go back to the time that you went to bed, or approximately the time you went to bed, and relate to us, as best you can, everything that happened as far as you know?
Well, to the best of my recollection, we went to bed about 9 o'clock, which is our usual bedtime.
Who is we? Excuse me.
My wife and I.
Would you identify your wife, please?
Her name is Myra.
Fine. Thank you.
We, because I have to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it must have been about 1 o'clock, I heard the sound of running water. So I jumped out of bed and grabbed the flashlight, and I went downstairs into the basement, opened the garage door, thinking that something had gone wrong with the plumbing. There was nothing wrong with it. I couldn't see any water of any kind. And then I heard voices on the street outside. So I went over, and here were 4 people standing. And of course, you know the exact place.
Yes.
Around the corner there.
It's actually in the street.
In the street, so I put the flashlight on, and I said, "Just what do you think you're doing?" And the man said, he looked at me like, they all looked at me like teenagers, and this one man, the only man, of course, a rather tall fellow, just looked at me and says, "Hi." He says, "We're just getting a drink of water, and we're sorry to disturb you." So, looking over the people, I figured, well, they're just teenagers out on a Friday night.
Would you describe the people, each one if you can?
Well, I cannot describe the people, except the boy was rather tall. The girls I hardly saw, except I knew one of them was short stature. So,
were they all Caucasian, or were they Negro, or did you make that determination?
Well, that I couldn't say, but from what I would guess, they were all Caucasian. So, I went back, turned the water hose off, And in the meanwhile, the girls did not say anything. He's the only one that spoke. the girl started walking down. Then I looked down the street and I see a car parked facing west towards the main canyon, Manatee Canyon. Which looked to me unusual because all of our people, the residents on the street, nobody parks on the street. They all have a parking place. So I said, "Is that your car?" "No, it's not. We're walking." So they proceeded to go down the street towards the car in front of me, and I followed them. And when they got to the car, he, I believe, opened the back door to the back seat, and the girls got in. But then the dome light was on, and I happened to look inside the car, and it was all messed up and dirty and so on and so forth. Things on the floor. So they closed the door. He got into the driver's seat. So in order to scare him, I acted as if I were going to reach for the keys. And that minute, he stepped on his starter and he took off before he closed down the street.
Did you notice which way they turned when they got to the
That
canyon?
I couldn't say. After they took off like this, I walked back up again and we went back to bed again.
Okay, now just a couple of things. You stated it was 1 o'clock, or approximately 1 o'clock, when you heard water running. Was that AM or PM?
AM.
All right. Now,
It would be Saturday morning AM.
the plumbing underneath your house is exposed from the garage. Is that correct? Most of it? Is that the reason you ran into the garage?
Well, the plumbing is all under the house.
Right.
So you can see every single pipe and connection and everything else.
I see. Now just let me describe the front of your house and see if you agree with me. You come down some rather steep steps from the east side of the house, and at the base of the steps, against the house is where the hose is connected. And you keep your hose in that general area, and so it runs out into the street and to the right and up into a sort of a planter area that do water. And it would be visible very readily from the street. Is that correct?
Well, that's right. Anybody who would drive up or down the street would see it.
And it's there most of the time, and it was there that night.
It's there most of the time because the hose connection is so hard to connect for some reason. But we just leave it on, and if the hose is needed up there in that area, just walk up there and then take the hose and walk the other part.
But at the night we're talking about the early morning hours, the hose was out there so it could be seen from the street.
It could be seen from the street.
Now, there's no curbs and there's no sidewalks in front of your house.
There's no sidewalks, no street lights.
So it is quite a dark area. Is that correct? All right. Now, where the car that was parked there that these people got into and left, that's an illegal parking area. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right next to the sign that says no parking at any time.
All right. Now, you had a flashlight with you. Is that correct? Was it in pretty good working order?
Well, yeah.
All right. Now, at the time you followed these people down to the car, did any of them make any statements at all except the man?
Well, after they started towards the car, nobody said anything.
I see. And what was the only statement the man made?
Well, he only said hi, and we're just getting a drink of water, so he just disturbed you. And then when I asked him, is that your car down the street, he says, no, we're walking.
Right. That's all that was said.
That's all that was said as far as I remember.
Well, now, at the time you walked down towards the car, your wife was with you, is that correct?
Well, she was staying behind, yeah. I was actually behind the whole front.
I see.
And in 3 or 4 feet.
As you approached the car, did you take notice of the license
Well, I think I trained the flashlight on the license plate.
On the rear license
On
plate?
the rear license plate, yeah.
And did you memorize that number?
Well, I memorized it at the time, and later on I wrote it on, after I got back home again, I put it on a piece of paper, and kept it there for a while, but then I remembered the number, so I threw the paper away.
I see. Well, what is the number that you memorized?
GYY 435.
And that was a California license?
Black on yellow letters.
Right. Okay. Do you know what kind of car?
No, it was an old car, and the paint on it wasn't shiny anymore. It was all what do you call it? Oxidized. And to me, it seemed to be a beige or color of that type, tan or beige.
It was a fairly light car, anyway.
It was a light car, and to me it was, I couldn't tell you, it might have been a Ford or Chevrolet, I just didn't know.
It was rather an older model, anyway.
It was an old car, yes.
Is there anything else about the car that you remember? Was there any fenders dented or?
That I couldn't say. Because once the girls got in, and he got in the driver's seat, then he took off.
Did they turn their lights on as they took off, or do you remember?
That I don't remember that.
Do you remember seeing any taillights as they drove off?
I'm not sure of that.
Okay. Now, you said you saw some material or something on the floor of the car when the dome light went on, when they opened the door. Did you determine that it was clothing, or did you have any recollection or any opinion?
Well, I don't think it was clothing. It looked to me like blankets or something like that.
Okay, and did you determine whether it was dark or light?
Well, it was not dark. It was, it was definitely not dark.
I see.
But I only had a glimpse of it because the minute that they got in, the slammed the door. Couldn't see that.
Now, in the past, have you had trouble with hippies or young individuals up in the canyon or in your house, or have you had cause for concern?
Well, yes, we have. Because there's quite a few houses for rent. As a matter of fact, there's not too many people that actually own that house. Most of them are rented. Well, a bunch of hippies would come in. Perhaps one person would rent the house. Any house, there was a high rental. The rental is high. And the first thing, 3 or 4 or 5 more would move in. And then they stay for a while, then they move out again, and others come in. And other unsavory characters like this, or I don't know, you might say marijuana smokers and stuff like this. And so the neighborhood has been plagued by this type of individuals. We have a vacant house across the street that haven't been lived in for years. And somehow it seems to have an attraction that all these hippie-type people, they come along and they can sense that this house is not occupied. So they park and they snoop around, they go behind the house, and in other words, they do something they're not supposed to do. So we're all concerned that there was something happening in the street. And that was my only concern, that I took all that trouble with these people to see what the car was, what the license number was, in case something might have happened in that particular street. So later on I could say, well, this particular car and these people had been in the street. But then nothing had happened, so I didn't pay much attention to that anymore.
I see.
And it just is mystery, the whole business. I said, well, they're a bunch of teenagers, their arts are Friday night, and they're chasing around. And then I thought, if I do call the police and tell them about that, I'm afraid possibly I wouldn't get much response, because they say, well, there's a bunch of teenagers using your water, so what?
But this was part of the fact that you have an unoccupied house across the street, and that it is a fairly lonesome area. This is one of the things that was in your mind when you went out and saw these people.
It is, just to protect the street, to see if anything had happened.
Right.
And as I pointed out before, when the story broke, it never occurred to me to connect the two of them together.
What's the address of the unoccupied house across the street from you?
That's 9863. Quite old.
Thank you. No, we were out there today, yourself and Mr. Bugliosi from the DA's office, and myself and a photographer from the police department, and we photographed the front of your house and the area in which this incident occurred. And at this time, that area is substantially the same as it was the night of the incident, except, of course, for the darkness. And the hose is in the same position.
The hose is back in the same position.
Fine. I can't think of anything else. Now, do you have anything else that you can think of?
Well, now, what about this girl that lived 2 houses up?
Well, we'll take care of that later. We'll put that on this now. I think that's about it.
Mr. Weber, give me the license number again to make sure I get it right.
G, like in George. YY. 435.
435. And your address, how do you spell that street? P-O-R?
P-O-R-C-O-L-E.
And the number again was?
9870.
There, I just want to make sure I had those two.
Well, sure.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see how you can read this stuff back again.
Sometimes you can't. Then you're in trouble, man.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
You'll be right back.
Yeah.